I'm with Terry Kelly in his bedroom. Absolutely pleasure to meet you. Absolute pleasure. Really, honestly. We've been chatting earlier on and just a lovely guy, to be honest, but so passionate about birds and your bedroom. Great bedroom.
It is, it's lovely. Yeah. All the cages are new. Dave Rand's made them for me last year, so it's
Dave, yeah.
complete overall. But it is lovely. It's nice to be in here just all day. It's pleasant and bright and cheerful.
How did you get into birds? How long have you done it for?
Right. Well, people who've seen Mattel's The Canary Room know I've kept birds since 1853. But for the last 30 years, for the first 30 years, I kept British finches. Nothing but British finches. Bullfinches, goldfinches, greenfinches, chaffinches. Occasionally soft bills like the grey wagtail, but in the main it was the British finches that I was obsessed with for 30 years. Never showed a bird, kept the odd canary, but it was the building fabulous outdoor aviaries that was the interest, creating a little bit of nature. When you live in the middle of Dewsbury, you need to create a little bit of real nature, and these aviaries were superb. And a friend of mine, Tommy Patterson, also a British man, came down from Fife. I went to see him one day in the 1970s, and he had these little canaries. And I said, "What are those?" And he says, "Those are Scottish borders. That's what they were referred to." And as a boy, he cleaned the cages out for Jimmy Moffat, a legend in the Fife world. So I said, "Next time you come down from Scotland, bring me some fifes." So I used the fifes, great as fosters, and that was the main thing. Amelia Reppo have a nest of 6, 7 youngsters, put them under a fife, half of them, and after a few days, the smaller ones that were under the fife were bigger than the ones with the Repos. So I used them as fosters. And then the interest developed. So yes, I like the look of them. If you're keeping a bird, you might as well keep a good bird. So I got into fifes then, went to Scotland, got some fifes, as well as what Tom got me. But at first, they only gave us rubbish in Scotch. So they were keeping the fife in Fife. But eventually I got some good birds and built up. And I started showing, I thought, I never showed before. Started showing the fifes. I did quite well. And you get enthusiastic and do better. So I brought better birds in. The turning point was a bird, Willie Turnbull, in the 1980s, let me have a fabulous green yellow cock. And that was the start of my green stud. And so it developed and developed. So showing did become the main, not obsession, but a big part of the hobby, far more than it is today. So I won the North of England 5 times over the years, and I won the National Exhibition on 2 occasions. So that's how it all started.
What was the passion into actual birds? Was it just you were interested in birds, or?
Yes.
That was just...
The Observer's Book of Birds. The picture of the bullfinch. When I was before I went to Bartley Grammar School, about 8, 9, I loved the bullfinch, and eventually there was a stall, believe it or not, on Dewsbury Market in 1955 who got me a pair of bullfinches. So that's how it started. The bullfinches in the cage. They didn't live long because there was not much information. I fed them dry seed and water. For a bullfinch, that's lethal. You need soft food. You learn that over the years, but you learn skills as you go on. And bullfinches in the future need a soft diet. They only eat heart seed in a few weeks in the autumn. It's a soft. So dry seed and water. Some birds like a linnet you can get away with, but a bird like a bullfinch you can't. So it was the bullfinch. Even to this day, when I see bullfinches like yesterday, 3 or 4 bullies, 3 cocks and a hen, it just blows my mind. More. I still see myself as a British man rather than a Canadian man. These are a very good substitute.
I didn't know that, Terry. I didn't know he was... didn't know he did the British.
Yeah.
And,
I love them.
yeah, I love the British bullfinch.
I do.
I think they had some Siberian ones, didn't they? The CBS.
Yes, I was given a pair of Siberian bullfinches when I used in Belgium. I brought them home. they aren't the same. They're too big. I know why people brought them in to make the mules bigger and breed bigger. And originally they would pair them with the British bullfinch to make the British bullfinch bigger. But no, they haven't the same appeal. The call is different. Just the British bullfinch, to me, the subtlety of the colours. To me, the bullfinch is the best bird in the world, just as I think the red squirrel is the best animal in the world. I like beauty in nature.
So what makes, this is the question.
Yep.
And you are, what makes a great fife?
That bird there.
Yeah, not bad, obviously.
It's what's called type. You need roundness with the fife from all angles. From sideways on, you need a round back. From above, round across the shoulders, round above the head. Some varieties, like Yorkshire, they need to be slim and thin. The fife is the complete opposite.
Right.
If you came in October, all those training cages there, I would place a young fife and put it on the floor. That's my starting point, whether I'm judging or selecting. So I look from above, and what I'm looking for is a brick wide across there. I maintain that to a perfect fife should be about 40%, the width should be about 40% of the length, and then you're there. If you've got that width across the shoulders, if you look at it from the front, it will also have the breadth, and from the side, it will have the breadth. So that's the first thing. The other thing, as a judge, personally, I look for is neat wings. They need some complementing that roundness. A lot of birds have poor wings. Two things from above, wings. Next crucial thing is the head. That break must be very pronounced, otherwise you've got a Gloucester canary. That's the difference. And that, from the top birds, when you look at them, the main difference compared to birds of many years ago, the difference now is, many years ago, if people see my book, the photographs in there, they had that, but they weren't, the break wasn't as pronounced. And 2 or 3 millimetres there can make all the difference between a bird, provided it's got all these other things. I bet the difference between best bird in show and not in the first 7. I mean, the competition now with fifes is so good. The top 7 birds in such as the north of England, they would have won shows many years ago, and it is a hard cut. That's why no one man dominates, because the standard at the top breeders is excellent, especially now when there are partnerships breeding 200 or 300. Many years ago, people bred a few, but these partnerships, you can play the numbers game. You need quality and quantity.
So they breed a lot.
Yes, which is fair enough. That's what they want to do. I've moved on in life. Now I want a small, top quality stud of mainly players, and that gives me great satisfaction. I don't want to show them. I've won the North of England 5 times, so I've climbed Everest a few times.
Yeah.
I enjoy the judging. I enjoy judging in Europe and the UK and places like Beverley, where we met. Beverley CBS, fabulous kid. You know, you just I do like meeting fanciers, judging, seeing quality birds, and just to reassure that my birds are as good as anybody else's.
How old is that? Is that bred in then, I suppose?
It is. You can breed anything into a bird with its size, colour, temperament. Once you get it there, you breed it in. Many years ago, I read in Cage Birds, the perfect definition of inbreeding, line breeding, was if you breed a canary with 2 heads, I know it's a silly example, but it makes the point. Yeah. Bird with 2 heads, within 5 years, you should have all your canaries in your bird with 2 heads.
How did the shape become? Oh, I always ask, has it changed since the 70s? And then
It just evolved as people were looking for a nice shape of bird. The border canary was that lovely shape, and the fife is a smaller version of it. The border always had that better break in the neck. Partly because they're bigger and you can get more of a shape in. But the border will have all these brownness here, brownness there. It's slightly bigger. And the fife didn't have that. So as we bred over the years, that got bigger. They got greater, and the type, and also they've got slightly smaller. At one time they were quite narrow, you know, but now we've got them rounder and slightly shorter. So from above, you have that shape where that is a nice round, compact little bird.
Yeah, when we're talking earlier, you said about the top of the head or something, the height of the
Yes.
head. On some birds, it could do with just its millimeters to make it a winner.
This is where the buffs have an advantage over the yellows. The buff seems to have a better, it's slightly longer feather is the buff. So it gets, a lot of the yellows are a bit quick across the top there. The advantage of the yellows is the yellows, with it being a shorter feather, have a better break in the neck there. The buffs don't have the same break because of the different feather. And same with the legs. People want to see a good leg. The buffs haven't the same leg because it's a larger feather, so it swings around us. So when you're judging a buff against the yellow, it's hard to compare like with like. Different varieties of canaries have changed. The shape has evolved, and it's man's preference. A man doesn't decide that a red setter must. Well, a man does decide that a red setter must have a straight back. Nature doesn't decide that.
Yeah.
You know, and if a red setter or any other species of animal or bird has a slight dip, which man has decided isn't what we're looking for, it's not as good. But it's, to the layman, 25 red setters at Crufts, they all the same to me. To the top judge, there's one's brilliant and one's rubbish, but to me, they're all the same. And it's the same when people look at canaries. Looking in this room, they all look the same. A lot of these birds do, but there's a slight variation, and it's a slight couple of millimetres here, couple of millimetres there, that make the difference between, I wouldn't take £1,000 for that, but you can have that one. But to you, they look the same.
How about the feet? Does the feet matter in judging, you think?
Well, they do need dainty feet and legs, and the feet are small. Occasionally the older birds get scale legs. It just spoils the overall beauty. What you're looking for is an overall beautiful creature, whether it's the wings, the colour, the feet, the legs, the stance, the movement. It's just a thing. It's a thing of beauty. You can sit there and watch those birds and just love watching them, like I will love watching a bullfinch on my sunflower hearts out there. It's a thing of beauty, which is, but man has decided that is the shape it must be, not nature.
Very interesting. Lovely birds.
Yeah,
Are these cock bears at the other side?
these are the cockbirds. Yes.
Stunning. What's the colour?
These are clear yellow cocks, and over there we've got clear buff cocks. Now, I've only just put these in single cages. It's now mid-February. Now, the last 3 months, maintenance has been pretty basic. No artificial lighting, no fancy foods, just keep them in flight cages, basic food, hens in flight cages, and all the cocks were in one flight cage until
You mentioned that, yeah.
from December to mid-February. Now, lots of people keep the canaries, cock canaries, in single cages, and they say you must. You do not have to. They're safely in numbers. I'll keep all them 16 in one flight. If I kept 2 or 3, there'd be trouble. But 16 together, maybe a bit of squabbling. I can get away with that till mid-February. No lights on, no condition seats. So now I'm back from holiday. The cocks have all gone in single cages. The hens still in flight cages. The cocks, we now start conditioning these 8 yellow cocks, 8 buff cocks. Over this period, mid-December to mid-February now, my grandfather is saying, feed the cocks and starve the hens. Not literally, but the condition seed, which I'm going to give shortly, and rearing food, will go to the cocks first. They will get theirs. They have it for 24 hours. What it is, it's feast, petit pois, and crackertonic. That's all you need. Nothing fancy. Forget couscous and all these things from Belgium and God knows where. Just basic feast is as good, British made, good as anything. That, petit pois, and crackertonic, I'm about to give to all the cocks. Egg food drawer full every other day, and then tomorrow I will take that food, put it in a bowl, mix it up and give it to 4 dishes for the 4 flights, because the cockbirds will have taken the rich seeds out and the hens are left with the soft food which they're going to rear with in 2 months' time. As my grandfather said, feed the cocks and starve the hens.
You wrote a book, Terry. Apparently a very good one as well.
Yes, I wrote one year 2000. I revised it in 2014, but the original, 50,000 words, took me 2 years to write it. It was published 20 odd years ago, yes. It's still, everything in there is still correct. I send them all over the world and people come back and say, this is brilliant. The photographs, clearly, the fife, as I've just been saying there, the fifes of 20 years ago were not, you can see the shape, but they haven't got the break in the neck or the roundness.
So there's clear evidence that it's changed.
Yeah, oh it has.
That's interesting.
Yeah. They were good birds at the time, and like I said earlier, I've seen an old photograph of Phil Warren many years ago with one of his boarders. It looked like a roller canary. So they haven't always been those fabulous shapes, the fife and the border. They have evolved and got better, and man has worked at that to make them better over the many years. People ask me, why don't you make a video? So we made a video, then we made a second, then we made a third. So it was month by month. That was month by month over the year, over 3 videos. Wow. And as things moved on, people asked for DVDs. We made a DVD. We took the best out of the first 3 videos and turned it into one double disc, 3 hours from the.
What does the book? Sorry, Terry. What does the book cover? Just everything.
Well, it's everything. Yes, it covers month by month management. Is a good chunk, but it is. Like housing, feeding, purchase of stock, producing a quality stud, about 20 chapters. Yeah. What novices do like is the drawings of the back of all the different classifications. And it is confusing for a lot of people, but drawings like this which show the different colours, all the same shape but different colours.
That actually does confuse me as well.
Yeah, so that people find that helpful. When you've been doing it years, you know, but for a newcomer, it's a bit confusing. So hopefully, people say that there's, as I said, there's 50,000 words. I cannot think of anything I will put in there now. Everything is there. So if people read this, they've got my 50 years and more since 1853, my experience in one book. In this 3-month period, we do feed a plain diet, but one thing we must give these birds is lots of green food. Now, I love giving the birds broccoli. This was in a field in Lincolnshire 48 hours ago. It's like a cannonball, and it will be a cannonball. If you can get fresh, I get it from Home First Market just down the road, great. The yellow soft stuff supermarket isn't quite the same, but this is, my hens will go mad on broccoli, maybe 2 or 3 times a week. Now, if you grate broccoli, you lose a lot of the goodness in 24 hours. And lots of people do. If you give it whole like this, the birds can peck away. The ones that want more will eat more, and it will retain all that moisture. These stalks are soaking wet. There's all that juice, and these will stay fresh until I replace it tomorrow. There we go. Straight on that. Can you work on that kitchen? Back in there.
Terry's just picked up on something. I mean, I make the mistake, I must admit, but I won't anymore. when he puts his broccoli in, he just cuts it into, is it 4/4, and just puts it in because it retains the moisture. And I've been for quite a long time just cutting it into little bits and thinking, oh, yeah, that'll help them cut it up. So it's,
That retains the moisture.
and is that the same with apple as well? And I've got my glasses on. I actually don't know why, but I have got my glasses on. And you say with apple as well, the same?
Yes, over this quiet period, they will get apple. Put an apple in two, same.
How often, Terry? Apple?
Well, maybe 2 weeks.
2 a week.
I'll cut it in two, dip it in cracotonic and put it in the flight cages. And then next day, trim off the brown and dip it in cracotonic again. So an apple will last. So really, broccoli and apple are the two things I like to have virtually ad-lib. Those are the two. The other thing I like is Savoy cabbage.
Right.
In winter, you can get a nice Savoy cabbage. That crinkly leaf, I'll get 4 leaves into those hens, and next morning, it looks like a spider's web. There's nothing left. It's incredible. So the main thing is good green food, not rubbish. Do not give them lettuce. Lettuce is 90% water. So we're now mid-February. We've got the extra lights on. Continue with the broccoli, other foods. We now add, for the hens, dandelion leaves. Clean them, wash them. Normally I would dig them up with the roots. Today I haven't. Just kind of the few soft, tender leaves. These are really good for conditioning in canaries. So I'll distribute these in the salad dishes. Now I've just given the dandelion leaves just after I've fed the broccoli, which was a rather silly thing to do because they're obviously obsessed with the. If the broccoli wasn't there, they would be. There's a nice little yellow hen there. He knows about dandelion leaves, so nibble away. So I would normally maybe give dandelion one day and broccoli the next day, as long as we get a fair spread of these foods. I'll throw this outside for a while, but
Yeah.
it's now mid-February. The lights are on. We now need to go up a gear for the next month, conditioning the birds. The soft food I give the birds is Feast. Made in this country, I think it's the best soft food on the market. I mix with that petit pois, crushed with a fork, not liquidized too much, and then add a handful of cracotonic. We mix all this together, and now I'm going to give one drawful to each of those 16 cockbirds.